Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Jim Crawford from the Old Saybrook Westbrook Exchange Club. Mr. Crawford.
Good to see you, buddy.
Welcome, bud. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Long time no see.
I know.
It actually has been a while.
It has. It has. Too long. Too long.
Sure, you say that now.
Yeah, I know.
So, Jim, tell
I'll
us.
make up for it.
Yeah, there you go. Jim, tell us a little bit about the Old Saybrook Westbrook Exchange Club
Yes.
and exactly what you guys do.
Yes, Old Saybrook Westbrook Exchange is a group of men and women who get together twice a month.
Okay.
And we network and we support projects throughout the community. Mm-hmm. We're primarily focused on prevention of child abuse, so we do a lot of youth programs, scholarship program. We're big supporters of the Youth and Family Services in both Westbrook and Old Saybrook. And one of our big community pleasures is to do the flags on Main Street in Old Saybrook. A lot of people don't realize that that's an Exchange Club activity.
Right.
So the Old Saybrook Westbrook Exchange provides that pretty much from Memorial Day through to the end of Labor Day, and then again, if weather permitting, on Veterans Day.
Very nice.
So that's been a very successful program. It is funded entirely by volunteer contributions.
Okay.
Most of which come from Main Street businesses in Old Saybrook. Sometimes the town will participate if there's an urgent need, and if a storm comes up and we have a lot of poles that snap, or we weren't able to get them down and a freak thunderstorm came through. We've had situations where we had to replace quite a few of them.
Right.
So there are over 40 on that street. So
Wow.
It's quite a nice display
It
to
is.
have in town for the summer season.
It is. I actually saw it the other day. I was downtown doing some banking and
Yeah,
was on
absolutely.
Main Street. And
Yeah. So my primary purpose tonight is to talk to you about our big fundraiser for our scholarships.
Okay.
And for the 14th annual Saybrook Point 5K road race, we did it virtually once because of pandemic, COVID. But we will be at Old Saybrook Point on August 26th.
yes.
8:30 was the jump, and we're at Fort Saybrook Monument Park. We've had anywhere from 150 to 400 runners. So this year we have a sign up over 90, which is pretty good for us considering we still were almost a month out when we last took count.
Okay.
So that's very good, and it's important for folks to know that all the registrations now are pre-registrations.
Okay.
We don't do anything on the day of the race. That got to be way too crazy.
Right.
So on our website, which you'll find, the graphic will be up.
Yep.
On our website, you will find ways to pre-register for the race, and it's pretty simple.
Okay.
$25 per runner. We have a very nice course all mapped up in North Cove.
Yep.
It's a very pleasant run through a lovely neighborhood in that part of the town. There is a water stop, so we're conscious of the fact that folks may need that. Mm-hmm. We've had some hot days, we've had some rainy days, and we've had some very nice cool days too.
Absolutely.
But we're ready for it, and we have one of our members who was an avid cyclist, and he goes out and leads the pack so that
Yes.
everybody knows. The
Where
lead
they're
runners
going.
know the right route, and we have folks stationed along the way in case anybody's a new runner gets
Doesn't know where
confused
they're
on where
going.
they're going. So the beauty of this run is that all the proceeds go to the two scholarship funds.
Okay.
We co-sponsor this with the Greater Old Saybrook Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And they've just changed their name.
I was going to say, I
Yeah,
got my packet in the mail the other day.
They absorbed or welcomed Old Lyme chamber, and they have members from more than just Old Saybrook and Old Lyme. So they've renamed themselves, and we're happy to co-sponsor with them. They run the race for the Will Hunter Scholarship Fund for a high school student in Old Saybrook. And Westbrook and Old Saybrook high schools are represented in the Exchange Club Old Saybrook Westbrook ACE Award. So I'll talk a little bit about the ACE Award,
Sure.
if I might. It's an acronym, stands for Accepting the Challenge of Excellence. And we give it out every year to a student who has overcome a physical, emotional, social issue that might otherwise have been a barrier to their graduation, but they have overcome that and graduated on time with their class.
All right.
So it's been very gratifying for our members to do this scholarship. We used to just do a Youth of the Year award, and typically the winner was someone who got a lot of awards at graduation.
Yes.
But in this one, it identifies a student in each high school who's really made a determined effort to keep pace with their classmates, to face their barriers and to overcome them. And it's a very emotional meeting in a lot of ways, because we hear about what these kids have struggled with, and it's, you know, it's remarkable. I mean, this year, two examples. This year we had a young woman who really pulled her life together after living in foster home for a long period of time, and was finally adopted by a couple when she was a preteen. And she blossomed completely in high school, and it was a beautiful testimony by the guidance counselors and the principal of Westbrook High School in talking about her contribution to the school and her class. And then the young man from Old Saybrook was truly unbelievable. He came here to the United States from Colombia, and essentially wound up in a situation where he was on his own. And he was not 18. He became a citizen, and he worked 3 jobs in addition to going to school. And he was sponsored in a way by a guardian who was willing to watch out for him and help him until he got to 18, so that he had legal status as an adult. And he's going off to college in Florida in the fall to major in IT work. So just amazing, the determination of these kids. And he was one of the ones that we'll put right up there as really remarkable. So again, it's very, very gratifying to us to be able to do this. We're indebted to the community for their active participation in the road race. And we don't raise a huge sum, but we raise enough to make sure that we present checks to these graduates that will in some way help them when they go off to college, whether it's purchasing books or maybe a new laptop or something like that to take with them. So it's a great experience for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
For those who are going to participate, I would suggest we have parking on site. But as you well know, you've helped with us with this before, it is limited. If we reach capacity very quickly, if there are over 200 runners, and we use the Saybrook Point parking area and the lot where the old Dock and Dine was. but that can fill up pretty quickly. And so if you're participating and you have friends or neighbors who are participating, it's a great idea to carpool.
Right.
Try to get there early. I would say get there by 8 o'clock, because that way you can, a lot of runners warm up,
Right.
and get ready for the race itself. Some of us who are a little older wouldn't want to just get out of the car and start running. So,
Oh, you mean you're going to run the race this
I'm
year?
not running. I'm
Oh,
not
come
running,
on.
but I've noticed some of the older folks who do run make sure that they stretch enough to be ready to do this before they go out there. And you know, if you don't want to run, you can always walk,
Right.
or you can jog.
Right.
And there's no pressure at all. Most of the days we run this are beautiful, and it's a nice morning
Yep.
experience to do that.
Now what you don't want to, when you said get there early, you don't want to be there as early as us.
No,
Because
there's no need to get there before 8, but 8 o'clock is not too early.
No.
It's just about right, and we do provide, at the end of the race, we do provide fruit and water and carbohydrates for folks, because we know that's what folks need after they've run
Yeah, absolutely.
over 3 miles. So that's a commitment we make. We share that with that sponsorship with the Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some great sponsors who help us out with that.
Okay.
Typically with the food, Stop and Shop will donate the fruit and the water.
Mm-hmm.
And Cohen's Bagels in Madison has been a great partner for all 14 years. They've been terrific, yeah. And they donate.
Something you and I know a little bit
We know a little bit about how that
about
works.
that
Yeah.
part of the routine works.
Yeah, they've been incredibly supportive, and no questions asked. They have the bagels ready for us, and when they don't have the bagels ready because of the screw up, well, they're
We
more than
wait.
happy to make it happen,
Absolutely.
even if we just have to wait a little bit longer.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
So it's great.
Absolutely. Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Let's do that.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Jim Crawford from the Old Saybrook Westbrook Exchange Club. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
All right,
you.
so we talked about the Exchange Club and the road race and all the fun things you
Yes.
guys do. Let's open up this segment, maybe opening a little bit more about the Exchange
club
Clubs, the
itself?
members, the club itself, what you guys do.
Yeah.
And from one thing that I understand, there's a pond.
Yes, on the on Route 154,
Yeah.
just before the transfer station in Old Saybrook, there's a pond, the Exchange Club pond, and we have worked to maintain that for as long as it's been there. It's well over, gosh, I'm going to say it's well over 30 years now.
Okay.
And this summer we've had plenty of water, so there'll be good ice skating in the winter as long as the weather is cold enough. But
They actually ice skate on the pond?
that's an important contribution we try to make, and we usually try to get over there one day in the spring to do a little cleanup. The town crew is very helpful,
Okay.
and that works out great. Before I forget, Pete,
Yes.
one of the we've exceeded our number of sponsors from last year already.
Right.
And as I said, we're ahead with the runners.
Right.
The one thing we don't have good luck with this year are donations. So when you go to the website,
Right.
if you feel like you want to donate to the scholarship fund and you're not going to be at the race, or you're going to go to the race as an observer, and you'd like to, whatever you'd like to give, $5, whatever,
Right.
$10, go to the website and you can donate. And there's a little button on there to do that. Actually, there are two. One is to pre-register, and the other is to donate.
Okay.
So basically, you're going to 14th annual Saybrook Point 5K.
Yeah.
If you do the Google on that and get in on there, you'll see it right away. It pops right up.
Done.
So the donations are a key part of what we do. Obviously, the sponsors are really important, because there are some that are in kind, like Cohen's and Stop and Shop, Walmart, and then there are others that put up a significant amount of money that help us fund these scholarships in a way that we think is appropriate. I mean, when you start looking at what the cost of colleges today, we know we're not making a dent in anything.
Yeah, I know.
But we do know that recognizing these kids at graduation time means a lot to them. They're very proud to be selected.
Right.
They know the process. We've been doing it long enough,
Yeah.
so they know what the process is. They also have an opportunity, if they wish, to fill out the form for the district, which is essentially all the clubs in Connecticut. And there's a district ace winner, and that district ace winner goes on to the national competition, where the prize is, I believe it's $10,000.
Wow.
So we've never had anybody go there, but we've had state winners before, district winners before. So it's a question, you know, it's not like they pick the kid with the saddest story.
Right.
They pick the individual who articulates the challenge and what they did to overcome it, and what they plan to do with their life going forward. So that's an element of what we do also. Yeah.
Now.
So we meet.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
meet. I'm anticipating. We meet.
You meet.
We meet most months twice.
Okay.
The first and third Wednesday. And I'm very happy to report that we had our first meeting at Luigi's since December last Wednesday. And Lenny and the family and the staff have done a wonderful job over there.
They have.
Place looks nice and refreshed and reinvigorated. Their enthusiasm is tremendous. We have our meetings typically upstairs. There are two conference rooms upstairs. One's a little smaller.
Yep.
We had this one in the larger one because it was also our spouses' night, where we installed officers for next year.
So we have officers for next year?
Rock Martell continues to be our president. Bernadette Carver is the secretary now. Andy Scott is the treasurer. And then we have a board of directors of about 6 or 8 other individuals who serve. We're a club of about 22 or 23. Typically, everybody participates in at least 1 or 2 activities throughout the year.
Okay.
We may not see everybody every meeting. We may see them at the holiday party. We may see them at the road race, or we might see them at the Bourbon and Brew and Wine too.
Yeah,
which
there
is
you go.
an event we hold at the Elks Club, and all of the profits from that go to Saybrook and Westbrook Youth and Family Services.
And I believe that's in June.
Yeah, and
Normally.
I'll put this pitch in that we're all about the road race this show, but we had the best profit numbers last May at the Elks Club than we've ever had, and we've been putting this thing on for 26 years.
No.
Yeah, we
How does that happen?
We grossed a tremendous amount, and we were able to net almost 6,000. So, which is very, very good. It topped even the years that we were really successful at Dock and Dine. So, they're very, very good to us at the Elks Club.
Yes.
Paul Champagne and his crew are super, and can't thank the Revenikas family at the Cordial Shop enough for all their support. They do all the heavy lifting, getting all the vendors, and all we really need to do is sell tickets and get raffle prizes, and they do the rest. So,
And that's our friend Nick
yeah,
from the Cordial Shop.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, Maria, his daughter Maria is the one who really latched onto this and
Oh, really?
has been really the primary focus for us. And we went to the bourbon thing because bourbon's
Right.
pretty hot right now.
Absolutely.
And obviously craft beers and a little bit of wine also. So we're always looking for new ways to help.
Okay.
We're always looking for new members. We've got 5 new members in the last year,
Okay.
and the energy they brought is very helpful. Typically we do a calendar that's pretty repetitive.
Right.
Where the taste is in May, and
Right.
the race is in August, and the holiday party's in December, and we'll do a few things in between. The flags go up, so it's always important to get new energy, get new ideas, and we got some terrific new people who have come on board, and we want to do a little more community outreach. We want to try a couple of our members, one new and one established, have suggested that it might be a great idea to do a variation on the old welcome wagon thing, where we would host an event for new folks to town, and have some government folks there, have some school people there, some of the religious leaders, and just talk a little bit about the communities, and provide coupons for businesses that want to promote themselves. So that's part of our mission too, is to help reinvigorate or help stimulate the sense of community in both our towns.
Now tell me this. In the first segment, we talked about the road race, and you mentioned for a couple of years it was virtual because of the pandemic.
The what?
You said the road race was virtual
Yes.
because of the pandemic. How do you run a virtual road race?
Yeah, it's basically what happens is folks paid in, and what they did is they on the honor system
Okay.
clocked their miles. They didn't necessarily have to run the whole 5K.
Mm-hmm.
They could run it in segments, and then they'd turn in their times. A lot of people who do this as a serious hobby will have a portfolio of races,
Okay.
and
That
they want to show those times. It's kind of like a golfer with a handicap,
Right.
you know? So, and there's one group in Connecticut called the 169 Club, and every year they want to hit a road race in all 169 towns.
Okay.
Yeah, they may not make it in a year, but they do.
Right.
They do eventually get to run in all 169 towns.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, so it's it's a little different, but it helped us, number one, keep the idea alive. Brought some money in for us. Obviously, it wasn't anything near as lucrative as we have in person,
Right.
but people were interested. You got a hat if you signed up, you got a little goodie bag and it had a hat in there.
Yep.
And it said the Saybrook Point 5K virtual race, you know,
I think I have one of those.
2020, yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of meant to lift spirits a little bit and keep, like I said, keep the whole race idea alive. And worked out nicely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a little bit more time left, so one more time with the road race.
Yes.
Date, where, when, what time?
Okay, August 26th.
Okay.
The race jumps off at 8:30. It is at Saybrook Point, and it is at the Fort Saybrook Memorial Park and Monument.
Yep.
Parking is down. There's parking available down there. And as I said, try to get there before 8 or around 8. That way you can settle in. It's not hectic as you try to get ready to go over to the starting line. You know, we have a better sense now of how many people we'll have running because we have pre-registration.
Right.
Back in the day when we had almost 400 runners, the walk-up was incredible.
Yeah.
People were waiting to see what the weather would be like.
Absolutely.
But this way, we have a good feel for it, and it's more comfortable for people.
Absolutely.
Not only the workers, but the runners themselves.
Absolutely.
Because they get nervous about, you know, they get the number and they get the tab from the starter from the timing company.
Right.
So you want to get all that stuff straightened out before.
Absolutely.
And then we have at the end, we have a beautiful ceremony.
Yep.
For multiple age categories, trophies, and we're good.
You got it. Jim Crawford from the Old Saybrook Westbrook. Thanks for some time, my friend.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you soon.
You will.
You got it. On behalf
Thanks
of
very
Jim
much.
Crawford, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.